What's up, everybody? You're listening to the Juice Box Heroes podcast. I'm one of your hosts, PK. As always, we have the Dubon Fan Club president, Chris, and Mr. Bryles. And guys, we have got, like, the rumor mill has started popping off in the last 30 minutes right before we've come on. So we're going to get right into this thing. Couple quick things. Like, Chris is going to talk about some of it, but a couple quick things. Jurickson Profar signed with the Braves today. 3 years, $48 million. If you had that on your bingo card for the Astros, like me, well, you got it wrong. So, I mean, good for the Braves, good for Jurickson to come back and get him a deal after playing for $1 million last year. But now he's going with the Braves. And the Braves kind of a little stacked over there. But what's y'all's first reaction to Profar going to the Braves?
Man, I'll be honest with you. I try to tell everybody that as awesome as it would have been for him to sign with the Astros. I thought that we were going to get our hopes up and be disappointed. I was very disappointed, but you know what? Hey, man got his 3 years, so good for him. And
yeah, good on him.
Another good sneaky move for the Braves. So that's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, it's really on to the next, right? Okay, who's next in line for us to talk about, which we've done a lot.
Yeah.
Ross, what do you got? You got anything on it?
No, I was just going to say, yeah, I thought that was probably what we were looking at, but I mean, he went for $14 million for 3 years, correct? So, I mean, I think that was probably, I guess, out of our price range at the time, but hey, it, like you were saying, on to the next one.
Yeah, good on him. So,
yeah.
A couple other things around the league. There's a story that we just kind of heard about Nolan Arenado and him, nixing the trade to Houston. It appears that it was a done deal until we made the move to the Cubs. And once Paredes and Wisniewski came over, that kind of nixed it for Arenado, which tells me that those reports of him saying that he would play first base really weren't that accurate, because if he was at that time, we still didn't have Christian Walker, right? So he still could have accepted the trade and moved to first, like he said. So lose out on Nolan, but what's your reaction to that story?
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show that. I mean, I know sometimes we take rumors and we run with them, but again, too, like, because the one rumor that I had saw was that supposedly Paredes was in the trade package. So now that clearly goes to show that he probably wasn't. And I mean, again, like, I don't blame Arenado. I mean, he's a third baseman. I don't know why he would want to move to first, unless it's just to put him on a stacked playoff roster. I mean, so again, it's a trade that didn't happen. On to the next. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I originally saw too. It's supposed to be Paredes and Presley as your primary guys coming from the Astros, going over to the Cardinals, and when we were going to get Arenado, and it was all a done deal. So the original thing they said was that Arenado killed it because he didn't want to play for us. But I guess it sounds like it wasn't necessarily that he didn't want to play for us. He just didn't think he was going to get to play third base. I don't know. That's probably going to be a mistake on his end at the end of all this, because I don't see a whole lot of teams lined up to try to trade for him right now, especially when he's being very selective on who he plays for. So at the end of the day, Arenado, good luck. But, hey, I think you made a mistake, buddy. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, we got younger and cheaper with Paredes, so
exactly.
I'll take that. Right. Presley, report about Presley or the Cubs on the verge of making a deal for our setup man, former closer. Still kind of new as far as the rumor mill, at least recent, because I started seeing things pop off pretty soon prior to us going online. Now that I can't even speak, but yes, Presley possibly going to the Cubs. Kind of threw it out there, like, what are we looking back in a possible return? Are we looking for, low level A guys? How high of a prospect are we looking for? I think Chris think, Chris, we talked about it briefly, I think on X, where it's, the higher the prospect we get back, the more money the Astros are going to have to eat. So if that's the case, what do you guys think? What would you be going after from a prospect level?
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Personally, starting to piss me off. It's like, because I also read in another report that he's not going to waive his no trade clause unless he's guaranteed the closer role and, I guess, some type of incentives. And it's like, man, Presley, I get it, but it's like, at this point, I mean, you should be happy anybody wants you, right? As far as a trade package, I mean, here's what I think. I think you don't even waste your time with prospects, right? I mean, if you could go make a trade and maybe get Suzuki, Suzuki's going to make a little bit more money. And the Cubs, they're starting to, they added Kyle Tucker in the trade with us earlier in the late last year. And then you have, they got these young kids that they're trying to call up. I mean, so I would shoot for a guy I could stick in the outfield, and then we don't have to worry about, then we don't have to sit here and talk about the outfield every week. So
every week, yeah.
There's that. I mean, but again, it's going to boil down to, as far as if we do go to prospect route, it's going to be how much money are you going to eat, to, upgrade your prospect that you get back in return. I mean, that's, and I would pretty much rule out any one of their top 10 prospects. I mean, this is going to be probably down in the 20 to 30 range for Presley.
Yeah, I'm assuming we're trying to move money and get it out of the way. So my answer to your question is, who cares? So if we're moving money out, that way we can bring extra talent in on a free agent aspect, then quite frankly, I don't care if it's for a case of baseballs in the end of all of it. I mean, if we do get a couple of guys that we can throw in, at like rookie level, something like that, okay, great. But I think the less money we eat on that deal, so we can go in and work on our outfield hole, work on possibly, like all the rumor mills going with Alex Bregman. Who knows? But at least we got some money in the coffers, to actually go out and do some things and hopefully improve this team overall. I don't think if going out and getting rid of Presley and shipping him off to the Cubs is going to return something like you were saying, Chris. It's like, you're not going to get some like high-end prospect. We're not going to get like an MLB ready, outfielder, I think, right away. I think we're going to end up getting something that's going to be either a reclamation project, or we're going to get some kid that nobody's ever heard of, that you got hopes and dreams for, that's going to be able to come up from, single A and then make it all the way through the pipeline. So honestly, my answer is, who cares? Let's offload the money, and then let's go see what we can get to make this team better today.
Yeah. I mean, I think it just kind of accept the fact that you just get what you can get back for him at this point. I didn't really think about the MLB ready player like a Suzuki. I mean, I know that whenever we made the trade with the Cubs at the end of at the beginning of the offseason, I think I kind of was thinking that Suzuki was going to be part of that deal with Tucker, right? Because that kind of shores up your outfield, and not shores it up, but at least it gives you another outfielder, right? So I think I'd be okay with Suzuki coming like that. Prospects, man, like I completely agree. I think it's a top, it's a 20 to 30, 20 to 40 guy with them. You just kind of see what you get. It's just a prospect, not one of their top guys. So it's gonna be interesting to see if Presley is actually going to waive his no trade. I mean, even if it's to the Cubs, I know they're kind of right there, but they're not really right there as far as like, being a real threat. You think if he's guaranteed the closing role there, that he would waive his no trade just so he can go close with the possibility of not making the postseason? Or do you think he's looking for a postseason, a contending team that he could go close for?
I mean, I guess it really depends on what reports you're reading. I mean, we all know that one, he wants to be the bona fide closer for whatever team he goes to. And then
Yeah.
now, like I said, this new thing that I read that now he wants to be the official closer and incentives. So I mean, like at this point, it's just I don't know if it's more of like, hey, I don't care who it is, I just want to be a closer, or if it's like I want it to be these teams that are close or these teams that are there, but I want to be the closer. I mean, but let's be honest, a lot of your more elite teams, already have their closer in place. So you would have to kind of roll the dice on a team like the Cubs, maybe a team like the Brewers who just traded their closer to the Yankees. So who knows? I mean, it's going to be one of those things where we're going to have to we're going to get a bunch of rumors, but at the end of the day, nothing's going to happen unless Presley decides to waive his no trade clause. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Presley, I need you to take one for the team. That's pretty much where I'm at.
Like you did last year. And
like you did last year. Look how that turned out. There you go. Look how that turned out.
Hey, yeah. Chris, I totally agree with you, man. It's like I think that you're right. He's got to figure it out. And now for Presley himself, I think he performs better as a closer. I mean, we all saw what he did when he got put in the setup role. I mean, it's not like when he was with Minnesota, he was working his way up the ladder, was in the setup role, and then went to closer and came with us, and then started shutting everything down. It's like almost like he got demoted. And we all know closers have got a little bit of a screw loose anyway. So it's like when these guys get the mindset that they're going into the ninth inning, I don't know if they're snapping smelling salts in the bullpen or what they're doing to get themselves amped up, but it is not the same atmosphere when you're going into the eighth thinking like, oh, I got these guys. Don't worry about it. Well, so, if he does go to the Cubs, great. If he goes to the Pirates, I mean, honestly, sell yourself as a closer. Who cares? Go play for the Rays. Go knock out that closer role. And guess what? Come trade deadline, you're going to be on a contender somewhere. That is a guarantee.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens, man. We'll see. Sounds like it's moving pretty quick. But let's get into this Bregman news. This kind of came literally out of nowhere. Nowhere to me. And it happened just a few minutes before we went live. So here's the thing. There's Ari Alexander, several other people. Michael Schwab reposted it, but the Astros and Bregman and his camp have started the talks again about a possible reunion. That's about as far as their post went. So the question becomes, okay, if there is the reunion, what's the contract? Is it the original contract that we offered, the 6-year, what did it, 158?
156?
Yeah. 156, something like that. Is it that still original contract? If he accepts it, that's when it becomes, what in the hell do we do? Right? Because now you've got Breggy at third. That means like Paredes, you got to find a spot for him. So there's things going out there where it's like move Paredes to second, Altuve to left. I seen a meme on X with Altuve and left on drywall stilts. Funny, but not really funny.
No, that's funny.
It's funny. And like I was telling Chris before we went live, it's when I think about a future Hall of Fame second baseman that plays for the Astros moving to the outfield, I have instant PTSD from watching Bidge faceplant on Taos Hill, back when they moved him to center field. I know we don't have Taos Hill anymore, but it'd be interesting to see if it all comes through, of course. So your guys' initial thoughts. I think, Chris, you got a little bit more information on this than I do. So what do you got, bud?
Yeah, man. I mean, so like I said, what I read is that it is unclear if the Astros are going to move up as far as their offer. So from what I read, it looks like as of right now, the offer is still the offer that was given them 2 months ago. Was it 2 months ago, 3 months ago? And that was it was just crazy how all this kind of like unleashed, because it was like there was an article that came out saying that Bregman, messed up his market by not taking the Astros' first offer. And, again, it's like, yeah, it's great. It's great. The whole city of Houston's happy. We bring Breggy back. But again, it's like, who's going to play the outfield? Where are you going to put Paredes? It's like, I think Man, I could have swore Paredes came up when he came up with Tampa. He played at the outfield as well. So I would rather put Paredes in the outfield, let Altuve take second,
1000%.
and then maybe you can do something like a moving around. You know, maybe you give Altuve a day off. You put Dubon or somebody in the outfield, bring Paredes to play second. I kind of agree with you with like the PTSD of seeing, Biggio, playing in center. And it's like, are you going to put out, I mean, does Altuve have a left fielder's arm? I don't think so.
Nah.
So like on one hand, you're like, yes, bring him back. We miss Bregman. Then on the other hand, it's like, oh, what are we going to do with Paredes / Altuve? So
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, at this point, it's been crazy. It's like the saga continues.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you nailed it, man. I'll say as an Astros fan, dude, throw Paredes out there, man. He can go play left field. Trust me. If Jordan can go out there and play left field, if the guys that we've already got on our current roster, they're talking about throwing it out in the outfield, trust me, he can go out there and catch a couple balls up against the wall. He's got a very short area compared to most ballparks. And not only that, I mean, we can rotate him in and out, so it's not that big a deal. I think you leave Altuve out there. Not only that, for a fact Altuve is a ball hog. So even when he's playing second, he's over there like in front of Pena trying to catch, pop-ups. He's over at first base trying to catch pop-ups. If you're going to play him anywhere in the outfield, you have to put him at center because he's going to be all over the place anyway. What is he going to do?
Yeah.
Is he going to give up balls to Chas McCormick or, Jake Myers, whoever's going to be playing center at that point? So it's like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a very good fit. Can he do it? Absolutely. And you know what? It's going to be good TV as soon as we get to see it. But if, I don't think you put Altuve in the field.
Right. How old is Altuve? 33?
I think he's
33, I think.
33. Okay. So you want to move a 33, 34-year-old second baseman to left field or a mid-20s kid from third to left? That to me seems like the logical thing, right? You put the young kid out there. Yeah. Hey, wait your turn, man. Like not wait your turn, man, but you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, it's Altuve and it's Bregman. Like,
yeah, you can rotate all those guys in and out. You know what I mean? Like Paredes could go to the outfield. Pena could actually shift, go to the bench, scoot Bregman over, put Paredes at third, whatever. I mean, can Pena play outfield? I don't know. I wouldn't see why not.
But I will say real quick before we wrap up this portion, how amazing is that lineup going to look with Walker, with Paredes, and then also having now Bregman in the lineup?
That's going to look dirty.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost completely stacked. I mean,
you left that. So you have Altuve, Bregman, Jordan, Paredes, Walker, Pena, right? And then I forgot. I forgot you got here. Yes,
pretty good lineup. Yeah,
yeah, good.
If
we do get. I mean, that's a good lineup to have, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those lineups you look at and you're like, man, this was a very successful offseason.
Who do we go after from opposing pitcher? Like, who are we challenging in this one?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, no, go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't want.
I was gonna say, we teased something on Twitter about a possible move for Cam Smith. Which is the prospect we got from the Cubs. There was one little rumor report type deal where they're talking about maybe putting him in spring out in the outfield for spring training, just seeing what he can do. So there's that possibility. Yeah. Let's wait and see. Who knows, man? But if he can transition to left field, I think his home is third base. That's what he does.
Yeah, I mean, but now you got Bregman for 5 to 6 years. So, kind of.
He also needs to figure out how to play the outfield.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it kind of throws a wrench in all the plans as far as Paredes plays until Smith is ready. Now it's just now we have a problem of we have too many third basemen now. So
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what the next play is, but I guess we'll see. I guess we'll find out here in the next couple of days if this is for real going to go down or not. It would explain why they really haven't tried to make any moves for these outfielders, that they're leaving that cap space open. Well, not cap space, but if they're leaving that money open.
Yeah. Well, they're not chasing an outfielder.
Tax cap space. Yeah.
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 Well,
so
We'll
And
see,
Chris,
man.
to
It's
your
going to get
point, I
interesting.
mean,
Just pay attention to. We'll be live as soon as any news happens with it for sure.
Yeah, no, we will be.
What were we going to say, Brian?
All
Sorry,
right.
bud.
So, yeah,
yeah,
go
no,
ahead.
I was just gonna say real quick, as like I know you've been keeping an eye on Leon and Melton also, down on the farm. So it's like these guys are ready and prime to come up. So is Cam Smith going to be like above them as far as like a call up level is concerned, or
No, I
are
don't
we
think
looking at
so.
our homegrown
No.
guys?
I mean, I think Cam Smith is probably going to be another year away. I think so. I mean, he
Okay.
was just drafted a couple years ago.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
26.
he'll probably start in AA this year.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure.
There's no need to
Well,
rush.
cool. Let's get into what we initially, were planning on doing before all this stuff
until
started
all this
popping off.
craziness. Yeah.
So what we decided to
So-
do, we wanted to really quit talking about the outfield. That's what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And we said, hey, what in the hell can we talk about? So what we decided, what Chris came up with, what we like, I liked it. I think it's a great idea. Something different. We each selected one former Houston Astro player that we felt is one of the most underrated players from Astros franchise. Our guys just happened to be between 1996 and 2006. So we're gonna make our pitch on why we think these guys are the most underrated. So go ahead, Chris, start us off.
Yeah, so like I said, we put this out and I got a lot of pretty good answers. I got a lot of Berkmans, I got a lot of Billy Dorans, but my thing was that if you're in the Astros Hall of Fame, then that kind of excludes you from being underrated, right? I mean, so I know the three guys that we have are not, to my knowledge, are not in the Astros Hall of Fame. If they are, then obviously that disqualifies one of us. So my pick would be probably one of my more favorite pitchers from the last 30 years. And this guy was the Shohei Ohtani at a much smaller level before Shohei Ohtani was Shohei Ohtani. My selection was Mike Hampton. Now, Mike Hampton, I think he only played 5 or 6 years with the Astros, compiling the 76-50 record. For that entire 6-year stretch, he had a 14.1 WAR. So like I said, then he had that monster year, and I think it was 98. So he went 22-4. I mean, and the guy won Silver Sluggers as a pitcher. I mean, that tells you this guy was the real deal. I mean, not only could he pitch well, the guy could hit back when pitchers couldn't hit. In that over his Astros career, 13 complete games, Silver Slugger Award, All-Star, Gold Glove, hit through 232 for the Astros in that span. So my nomination for one of the most underrated Astros players would be Mike Hampton.
Look, I like it, dude, because back when we were in the National League, the pitcher spot came up. It's like, well, rally killer, right? It's sack bunt or rally killer. Like it's just you're basically batting 8 guys. But you knew that every 5 days when Hampton was on the bump, that this guy could go yard at any moment. Like he was not the traditional pitching out, And then on top of that, he would, like you said, he would rake as a pitcher, but then shut down the opposing team while he's raking at the plate, And so, yeah, man, that's a great, and that for him not to be in the Astros Hall of Fame kind of shocking. Also, to be honest with you,
yeah,
but that's a great pick. I like
because he
only
only did 5-6 years.
Maybe so.
All right, who's next? Who's next?
Go ahead, Browse.
All right, I'll go ahead and take it. I dug a little bit deeper than the Mike Hampton. By the way, I love that pick. And I was looking at, some of the pitchers that we had, and I'm like, oh man, like Jose Lima would be awesome. Mike Hampton would be awesome.
No, Jose Lima, not. I want to disagree with Jose Lima.
Hey, yeah, I know.
Sorry.
Well,
I mean,
he had
Casa
the
Lake
commercials, exactly. So
today.
But anyway, so
R.I.P. Jose.
My official pick is Mike Lamb. And Mike Lamb because he played third base, had a sweet swinging left-handed swing. And I know we talk about it all the time. It's like if you bat
hell yeah, we do.
That swing's always going to look a bit better.
All lefties have good swings.
but literally career 4 WAR. He still had a batting average for his career of 276. And you can't really beat that. And the dude also slugged home runs for us. And that was back before we even had, well, I guess we did have the short porch at that point, but still, he was hitting them over to the right field. So it's like, it wasn't that short. Anyway, it's Mike Lamb for me. Played good defense. He filled the hole in that kind of rotation spot that we had from when after Cam and Eddie left, and then it was just a bunch of dudes, and then Mike jumped in and actually took care of business. So that would be.
You don't think?
Mine.
You tell me you don't think that Vinny Castilla for that half a season he was in Houston held it down.
Yeah, for the whole two and a half months that we had him.
Yeah, I like it.
Mike Lamb's a good pick, man.
Yeah, when I think of Mike Lamb, I think of that one game against the Rangers. And I don't remember what year it was, but I remember him going off like 4 for 4 with like a grand slam. And yeah, I thought you were going to go with Luis Valbuena, which I had a really cool story for, but since you didn't go with him, there's no point in telling
you changed the years up on me, so I ended up going with Mike Lamb.
Yeah, Chris,
that's fair. That one's on me. That one's on me.
No,
my bad.
I mean, but Valbuena was in the mid 2000s, wasn't he?
No, Valbuena was more towards the 2010s. Well, 2015, maybe 20.
He was in the dark years.
2013, 2016. Yeah.
Okay.
It was for the majority of the No Bueno years.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I try to forget those years. All right. So yeah, Mike Lamb, I like it, dude. That was so I think it was we talked about last time, or maybe offline, but I watched a quick cut up of the 18-inning game against the Braves when Burke hit the walk-off, right? And Mike Lamb, made an appearance on in that cut, and I was like, oh shit, Mike Lamb, I forgot about that guy, right? So, I mean, that's a good pick. So look, man, I'm really pumped about my guy. Okay, I'm really pumped about it.
For the first time in this entire career of the Juice Box Heroes, I think this is the most research that PK has done. So I'm excited to hear what he's got for us.
I don't know why you have to put it out there that it makes it sound like I don't do my research, which is mostly true.
There you go. Hey,
however, on this one, I did my research. So my guy is Bill Spires.
Let's go.
Billy
Spires. I like me some Billy Spires, man.
Oh, Billy Spires, man.
So look, he played for the Astros from 96 to 01. Okay. And I went and I got
he played for them that long?
Yeah, exactly. He played 13 years in the bigs.
Well, I know we got him from Milwaukee, but go ahead.
So I wrote that down somewhere in here. Oh, so he was a non-roster invite in 96. So he was on the back end of his career because he had injuries with the Brewers. I think Phil Garner was the manager. He didn't impress him. He got cut. So he gets a non-roster invite to spring training in 96, and he stays with us till 01. So his career batting average just for the Astros, okay, was 294. Which I didn't. I mean, I knew. That. Yeah. Okay. His best.
Well, there was.
So in 2000 and 2001. So in 2000 he hit 301. In 01 he hit 333. In 97 he hit 320. Also in 97, for runners in scoring position, his slash line was 449, 551, and sub 705.
That's stupid.
With runners in scoring position. Okay.
I didn't know. I knew about the 97 season where he hit 320. I didn't know he had another season where he hit 333 or 330.
So his lowest average was in 96 at 252. Then he went 320, 273, 288, 301, 333 with us.
Damn.
Now on top of that, I found this little nugget. This is bar trivia. So now y'all are gonna know who was the first player to get a curtain call at Enron/Minute Maid Park.
Was that Billy Spires?
Billy freaking Spires.
Okay. Man, you did put some research. Man, I'm so proud of you, man.
You should be. He had two home home runs.
Growing up before my eyes.
He had 6 RBIs against the Cardinals. He had a grand slam and a 2-run homer off of Andy Bennis. One of the Bennis boys.
Man, that guy.
But the thing that kind of not impressed me about it, but as I'm looking at all this stuff, like he was the 96 to 01 version of what I don't want to put him in the same category as Dubon, but that uber utility
Just
player.
don't. Okay.
Uber utility, right? So in 96, he played every infield position except catcher and pitcher, right? At least one point during the season. 97, 98, he only played the infield, so second, third, and short, and first. 99 was the same as 96, played everywhere but catcher and pitcher. So he was Mr. Do Everything. Also in 98, he hits the walk-off single against Hoffman to tie the division series at 1-1. So just so we can go back to San Diego and lose the next two. But the point is,
hey,
he was Captain Clutch.
Prolong the elimination. There you go.
That's correct. So, look, man, my guy was Bill Spires. I've always liked that dude. And now he works for, just so you know, he works at Clemson University on some kind of on the football program, which I didn't know he was a punter in college. So went down a rabbit hole with this guy, man. I'm telling you.
The ultra utility man.
Ultra utility man who crushes.
I feel like you've set yourself, the bar is now so high for your research. And I feel like you may not be able to reach this. I'm impressed.
Well, you know, when we talked about the show, and we're about to get out of here, but when we talked about the show, I told you, hey, man, I spent all my time doing Bill Spires research and not the topics we're about to talk
anything else. It's like I've completely ignored my family for the last 3 days.
That's correct. That's right. I got Bill Spires info.
Billy or nothing.
Well, I mean,
love it.
That's right.
I'll say this. Like I said, I knew that Spires had that one like 320 season in 97. I didn't know that he had another one. You want to talk about a guy, I mean, underrated. I mean, I forgot how good this guy was. I mean, yeah, I thought that was a really good nomination. I really do.
Yeah, he was
good job, PK.
Mr. Clutch, man, and played everywhere. So, you know, whenever we brought Caminetti back, you know, he was cool with taking a back seat to have Cammy at third, and that was basically the end of Spires, you know, his everyday play time. So it's part of the game. He gets it. But hey, look, man, this has been a Bryce, you got something?
Yeah, I was going to ask real quick, Chris. So what's your Luis Valbuena story? Since I didn't get to pick him due to the years. No.
So real quick, so I had bought season tickets in 2015. That was one of my bucket list items when I moved back to Houston. So I don't remember what the date was, but I just know they were playing the Mariners. So my two seats were on the second deck, section 151, the front row seats 1 and 2. And I took my dad to the game, and they were donkey stomping the Mariners. And I caught a home run ball from Luis Valbuena. That was it. That was my story. And my ball, I mean, it's somewhere in the back over there. So yeah,
good story,
that's
bro.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, cool story. Yeah. So,
I mean, you have one more home run ball than I do. So
there you go. I mean, Bryles almost got a lower fetal foul ball. Actually had his fingers on it and everything.
Good hands, feet.
Yeah. So, guys, fantastic job with the.
I liked it.
With the research, with the kind of a different topic, you know, instead of us going for 10 minutes talking about the outfield. I'll think about something for next week. And, you know, and again, for anyone who's listening, watching, you know, again, if you guys want to, you know, have a question to pop out, you know, let us know. You can reach out to us on Facebook, X, or you can comment here on YouTube or however you're streaming this from. We're going live to 3 different places. But yeah, man, like I get it. We all get it that talking about the same things over and over are kind of boring to listen to. So we try to, there's only so many ways you could break down the outfield need for the Astros. So we're trying to mix it up, give you guys something new to listen to. So guys, if Bryles, PK, if you guys don't have anything, again, thank you everybody for watching and listening. If you guys don't have nothing, let's go ahead and take us home.
Yes, sir. Thanks again for listening. As always, I am PK, and that's Chris, that's Bryles, and you're listening to the Juice Box Heroes.
All right. See you guys next week.